Okay. Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Good. Did you have a good weekend? Yes. Did you do anything fun?
We went to a drive-in movie.
Ooh, I bet that was fun.
We went to a pond.
You went to a
and
pond?
Went swimming and fishing.
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. So I know you weren't here last week, Jeffrey. How about Nicole and Carson and Adrian? Let's fill in Jeffrey on what happened in the story last week. What was the last thing you remember, Jeffrey, about the story? Had they got to the armory yet? Like when they were hiding among the armor? Okay, so that's the last thing you remember? So what happened when they were hiding in the armor?
They found a trapdoor.
They found a trapdoor. And how many guards were chasing them?
You know my answer. 3.
I know I only know it if you say it.
3.
There were 3 chasing
I
them.
don't know. I forget. That's my answer.
That's okay. That's why we're talking about it. So there were 3. Do you remember anything about the guards, Carson?
One was like squinty.
Yep, one was squinty. One had a weird mustache. Did they catch Jack and Annie?
No.
No, they didn't. Because why?
Jack fell into the moat.
Yep.
They went down a ladder.
They went down the ladder and they fell into. Jack fell into the moat, and that's where we left off, huh? So before we begin, we're going to go over some vocab words that are in this story. Okay? So, can you just move when it gets dark like that? Yes, thank you. Okay, so some of these are pretty easy, and others you might not know. So what does it mean to cough? Go like this. Everybody can cough, right? What about flail? You know what it means to flail? You go like this. Flailing your arms. Everybody flail your arms. Okay. How about tread? Do you know what it means to tread?
One.
It means you're walking slowly. How about afloat? Yep, you're floating. If something's staying afloat, it's staying above water. It's not sinking. How about, sputter? What do you think it means to sputter?
Spit?
Yes, it's like you're talking and water's coming out of your mouth. Good job. So all of these words are going to be in chapter 8 today. What about dog paddle? Go like this when you're swimming? When you're learning to swim, did you doggy paddle? Yeah. Why do you think dog paddle is going to be on there, knowing what we know about Jack?
Jack fell in the moat.
He fell in the moat, so he's probably doing the doggy paddle, right? What about streak?
Like one line.
Yep, a line. Very good. So if it's water streaked, it would be a line made out of water. Good job. What about edge?
Like the edge of a cliff.
Like the end of something? Yep. If you're imagining, what are you doing?
Like imagining in your brain.
Yep.
Dreaming.
Yep. Thinking about something in your mind. What about slither?
Like a snake.
Like a snake, and you go like this? Yep. Good job. Kind of just moving through. Slithering. What about an embankment? What do you think an embankment is?
The bank?
Yep, so I'll read you this definition. A wall to stop the water from spilling. So it's a wall that prevents the water from spilling over onto the land, okay? That's an embankment. What about chatter?
Like talk?
Yep, talking. Very good. Grove of trees.
Like a group of trees?
Yes, it's just a group of trees. Very good. How about thick?
Like an object, like not thin.
Not thin. Yep, that would be the opposite, right? So it's something. Is it wide or is it
So
thick? Like if you had a thick piece of bread, what would that look? How wide do you think that would be? Like, yeah, that'd be a thick piece of bread, wouldn't it? That'd be hard to eat a sandwich on, huh? A loaf of bread. What about soupy? If something's soupy,
Soup?
it'd be like soup. Yep. What about mist?
Like it's a little bit of water. Yeah, water like mist. Like
Yeah. It's water. It's just, or fog. You know, when you, in the morning, if you can't see when you're riding with your mom or dad to work or to school and it's so foggy you can hardly see through it. Or daycare, yep. Good job. So we're going to look for those words as we're reading today. So we are on chapter 8. And this chapter is called The Night. Ooh. Why do we think the night's going to show up?
To save them.
As in, and when we say the night, this is this like night and day?
No. It's
What night is this?
Fighting night.
Yeah, fighting night. The one that wears armor, rides a horse. So Nicole, would you like to hold this one? Okay. I'll read first, okay? And Carson, you can look off of Nicole's. And then you guys can look here. Alright. Water filled Jack's nose and covered his head. Ready, Jeffrey? His glasses slipped off. He grabbed them just in time. He coughed and flailed his arms. Oh, how do you flail your arms? What was he doing? Good. So, Jack, Annie was calling from above. I'm in the moat, said Jack, gasping for air. He tried to tread water and put his glasses back on. With his backpack, his shoes, and his heavy clothes, he could barely stay afloat. So why do you think he's having trouble staying afloat?
Because he doesn't know how to swim.
He's having trouble swimming because he has all of this stuff on. He has his clothes and his backpack. Have you guys ever tried to swim with a backpack on?
Yeah, and I can do it.
You can do it, Adrian? Wow, you must be a really good swimmer. Okay.
I swim with my brothers on my back.
With your brothers on your back? That would be way too hard, Nicole. Hi, I'm here, Annie sputtered. Jack could hear Annie nearby, but he couldn't see her. Why else could it be scary for Jack to be in the moat?
There's alligators.
Because there's alligators, you're right. What if the alligators get him?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I don't think so, Adrian. That'd be scary.
Awesome.
Jack could hear Annie nearby, but he couldn't see her. Which way's land? Annie asked. I don't know. Just swim. Jack dog paddled through the cold, black water. He heard Annie swimming too. At first, it seemed as if she was swimming in front of him, but then he heard a splash behind him. Oh, who do you think that could be?
An alligator.
An alligator? Let's see. Annie, he called. What? Her voice came from in front, not behind. Another splash behind. Jack's heart almost stopped. Crocodiles? He couldn't see anything through his water-streaked glasses. Annie, he whispered. What? Swim faster. But I'm here. I'm over here near the edge. Would you guys would anyone else like to read? You want to read, Nicole? No? Okay. But I'm here. I'm over here near the edge, she whispered. Jack swam through the dark toward her voice. He imagined a crocodile slithering after him. Jack's hand touched a wet, live thing. Ah, he cried. It's me. Take my hand, said Annie. Jack grabbed her hand. She pulled him over to the edge of the moat. They crawled over an embankment onto the wet grass. Do you remember what an embankment is?
No.
What did we say it was?
Like it's like a wall that separates the water and
From the land.
surface.
Yep, very good, Nicole. They crawled over an embankment onto the wet grass. Oh man, Jack said. He was shivering all over. His teeth were chattering and he shook the water off his glasses and put them back on. It was so misty he couldn't see the castle. So what was mist again? It was like what? Fog, so it was so hard to see, right? He couldn't even see the moat, much less a crocodile. We made it, said Annie. Her teeth were chattering too. I know, said Jack, but where are we? He peered at the foggy darkness. Where was the drawbridge, the windmill, the hawk house, the grove of trees, the tree house? Everything had been swallowed up by the thick, soupy darkness. Jack reached into his wet backpack and pulled out the flashlight. He pushed the switch. Nothing happened. The batteries were dead. They were trapped, but not in a dungeon. They were trapped in the still, cold darkness. Nay! A horse's whinny echoed through the night. The clouds parted and a full moon was shining in the sky. A pool of light spread through the mist. Jack and Annie saw a shadowy figure just a few feet away. It was who?
The knight.
The knight! Finally, the knight is coming into the story. The knight sat on the black horse. His armor shone in the moonlight. A visor hid his face, but he seemed to be staring straight at Jack and Annie. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 8. So, what happened?
They finally got to meet the knight.
They finally got to meet the knight.
They were stuck in the moat.
They were stuck in the moat, and as soon as they got out,
It was
they saw
foggy.
it was foggy and it was cold. So, what time of day is it?
Night.
It was nighttime. How do we know that?
It was dark and foggy.
Yep, it was dark and foggy. And do you remember what they said about the water?
It was cold.
It was cold. And what color? Do you remember?
Black.
Black. Good job. So that's another reason we could tell it was night, because the water reflects what the sky, so it would be black, like at night. So let's do you remember what it means to sequence events?
No.
It means you're putting the events of the story in order. So let's do this first, and I want you guys to try it on your own, and I want to see how you did, see what you can remember from the story. Okay? I'll help you. So I have markers. And while you were working, would you like a fruit snack?
Sure.
Would you like some fruit snacks? You don't want any, Jeffrey? Okay. Here, take a marker and pass it around. And put your name at the top, okay? Do you want some, Adrian?
Yeah.
You want some, Carson?
Sure.
Since you guys are doing a good job so far. So what do we think happened first? Here, I'll read them through. Okay. After Annie jumps in, Jack hears another splash in the moat behind him, and he gets scared. Which we didn't really talk about this. Who do we think the other splash was in the moat?
Alligator.
You think it was an alligator?
I think it was the knight.
The alligator or the knight. I think those are two very good options. Okay, so that was the first one. You put your name at the top. Jeffrey, can you put your name at the top of your paper? Thank you. Okay. Then Annie jumps into the moat. Jack and Annie look around, but they aren't sure where they are. Annie and Jack swim to the grass at the edge of the moat. And Annie and Jack see the knight on the black horse. Okay. So, which of those is first, do we think?
Annie jumps into the moat.
Yep, I think so too. So we have to put a number 1 besides Annie jumps into the boat. Because she goes after Jack, right? So that has to happen first. Alright. Who has an idea of what happened second? Yes, Nicole.
After Annie jumps in, Jack hears another splash in the moat behind him and gets scared.
Yep, I think that's right. So So that's the one at the top, right? After Annie jumps in, Jack hears another splash in the moat behind him and gets scared. All right, Jeffrey, what do you think the third one could be?
Annie and Jack swim to the grass at the edge of the moat.
Very good. Yep, they have to swim to the edge, and then they get out, and what happens, Kirsten?
Jack and Annie look around, but they're not sure where they are.
Yep, they're not sure where they are when they get out of the moat. So then this is 3. Then 4. So then what's left? Who do they see at the end, Adrian? The knight. They see the knight on the black horse. Very good. Okay. So now, I'll take your wrappers. Let's do, remember how we do our movements with our quizzes? Like we raise our hand or we do a jump for which answer we think? Okay. So, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. And then what kind of movements do we want to do today?
I'm just raising my hand.
You want to raise your hand?
Yes.
You don't want to get up.
No.
Why
I have
not?
to walk at the daycare all day.
You have to work at the daycare all day.
Yeah, because I made a bag of toys at Jenna's house. I have to walk here all day and I do not want to get up.
Okay.
Maybe it's right, you can raise your left hand. Usually it's wrong, you can raise your right hand.
Okay. So how about this? How about if that is a good, I like that. So how about, thank you. If we're not in a standing mood today, thank you. We can do, so I'm going to give you 3 answers. I'm going to ask you a question, and then there'll be 3 possible choices for the answers. If you think it's number 1, raise your hand. If you think it's number 2, what should you do?
Raise your hand.
No.
Well, I am.
How about, we're thinking of things you can do while you're sitting. Okay.
Put your hand on the table.
Put your hand on the table. Okay, so that's pretty easy. And then what about if it's the third option? What could we do?
Nothing?
No.
Yes,
Oh,
nothing.
put your finger to your nose. Okay. So 1 is raise your hand. 2 is put your hand on the table. And 3 is put your finger on your nose. Okay. So I'm going to read the first question. Why was it hard for Jack to swim in the water? 1, he was carrying Annie. 2, he can't swim. 3, the water made his backpack, clothes, and shoes heavy. What do you think? Oh, I see 3 hands on the nose. What do you think, Jeffrey? All 4 hands are on the nose. You're right. The water made his backpack heavy. Very good. All right. Who jumps in after Jack? Who jumped in? Annie. We don't even need to do that one. You guys are right. It was Annie. What does Jack hear after Annie jumps in?
A splash. Splash, and then he gets scared.
He gets scared.
And then he hears another splash.
And we're still not sure who the other splash was, right?
Yeah.
You guys are too good for this, huh?
I know, because I want to be done.
Adrian,
I want to get back to work.
this is work, okay? This is part of it too. You're doing good. You're doing good. All right. What does Jack think the other splashes are? 1, crocodiles. 2, tadpoles. Or 3, castle guards.
Stop.
Yep. Carson's raising his hand. All 4 raising your hand. Yep. He thinks they're crocodiles. Good job.
Alligators.
Annie grabs Jack's hand and pulls him to the edge of what?
The moat.
The moat. Good job. Jack and Annie don't recognize where they are because
It's foggy. Cold. Everything's pitch
The
black.
fog is too thick. You guys are right. They can't use a flashlight to see because,
The battery ran out.
yep, the battery ran out. Who do Jack and Annie see at the end?
Night.
The knight. Very good.
Jeffrey.
Okay. So now we are actually going to read chapter 9. Okay? And then tomorrow, which will be our last day,
I'm not moving it.
it will finish the book. Tomorrow we're finishing the book already. And then it'll be my last day. Can you believe it?
No.
No, it went so fast,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Jeffrey's
Jeffrey's like, yeah, I can't wait to be done with this. Jeffrey.
June went really fast.
It did. It went so fast. What have you guys liked about reading camp so far?
Everything.
You liked everything? What was your favorite part so far?
Everything.
Not
The book.
one thing.
The book.
You like reading the book? Tomorrow it's going to be all done. Alright, let me get up these vocab words real quick. So what do we think is going to happen in the rest of the story?
The night is gonna stay.
When they finally get to meet the person,
They
The
finally get to meet
mysterious
him.
person.
the mysterious person, and they go back to the treehouse, and they go back home and go back to bed.
No, probably not. It'd probably be morning time.
Well,
by
who do we think the knight is? Do we think he's going to help Jack and Annie, or do we think he's not?
now. I think he's gonna help Jack and Annie because it's
Oh, Jack and Annie.
What do you think he's going to help them do?
Go back
Escape.
home.
Escape from who?
the night.
The night.
No, he
From
is
the
a knight.
Easy.
From the people that who
From
have
the guards that are chasing him, right?
I was gonna say the people who were chasing him.
Alright. So let's do. Okay. Here are some new words. What do you think it means if you dismounted?
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. It has to do with, think of like a horse.
When you get off a horse.
When you get off a horse. Yep. Then you dismounted. What about the reins?
Like the reins of a horse, like hold it so you won't fall off.
Yep. So you hold on, and then you pull back the reins to get the horse to do what?
Stop.
To go or to stop. Cantered. This is a way that a horse walks. It's a type of walk. Moonlit. That's pretty easy, right?
Like
When the
moonlight.
moon comes out.
The moonlight.
The moonlight. Mysterious.
It's like a
weird.
like a something that,
Weird.
that's like a mystery or something.
Yeah, like a mystery. Fumble.
I heard this word before, but I forget what it means.
I don't know.
What's it, Jeffrey? What's it mean in football if you fumble the ball?
You fall with it.
You fall with it, or what happens to the ball? You know?
It falls to the ground.
It comes out, right? You don't have a hold of the ball anymore. You fumble it. Or, let's see what,
It's been a while.
it's to mishandle something. Yep, so if you're carrying a bunch of things at once and then they start to drop, you're fumbling with them. What about deserted?
Like a deserted island.
What is a deserted
Or-
island?
Like left behind.
Result.
Yeah, like abandoned. Yep.
Or result.
What if something's fancy?
Like a type of like look.
Yeah, if you look fancy, do you have ripped clothing on?
No.
No, you're what? What would you be wearing if you were dressed up fancy?
A dress
Heels.
and makeup
Heels.
and heels.
Yeah.
If it was
so you're
a
dressed
boy.
up nice. Yeah, what would you be wearing, Jeffrey?
A suit.
You wear a suit and tie? Yeah.
I like
Alright,
go.
So let's see. Based off of those words that we just read, what do we think could happen?
I don't know. Like Andy and Jack are getting on the horse.
They are going to a abandoned island,
Mm-hmm.
cover looks like. So they are safe.
Yep. Oh, and yeah.
That's
Jeffrey
what
brought
I
up
was
the,
saying.
Yeah. Jeffrey and Nicole brought up the cover, which Jack and Annie are riding with the knight.
So I think the knight is going to save them.
So, let's start. This chapter is called Under the Moon. Person, would you like to start reading for us, please?
Got the other side.
Thank you, buddy.
Jack rose. It's him, Annie whispered. The knight held out his gloved hand. Come on, Jack, Annie said. Where are you going? Said Jack. He
Listen.
wants to help us, said Annie. How do you know? I can't just tell, said Annie. Annie stepped toward the horse. The knight dismounted.
So if the knight dismounted, what did he do?
Get off the horse.
He got off the horse. Do you guys think the knight wants to help Jack and Annie?
Yes.
Jeffrey. Okay, keep going, person.
The knight picked up and put her on the back of his horse.
And okay, so the knight picked up Annie and she got on the horse. Can you keep going? Okay. Come on, Jack, Annie called. Jack moved slowly toward the knight. The knight lifted him up too and put him on the horse behind Annie. The knight then got on behind them. He slapped the reins. The black horse cantered beside the moonlit water of the moat. So what did the horse do if it cantered?
Go.
It's like a type of walk, yeah, that a horse does. Jack rocked back and forth in the saddle. The wind blew his hair, and he felt very brave and powerful. Why do you think he felt very brave and powerful?
Because
he's on a horse and he's going really fast, probably.
Yeah, and
hair's, like,
who's he riding with?
A knight.
A knight. That would make me powerful if I was feel powerful if I was with a knight, right? He felt as if he could ride forever on this horse with this mysterious knight over the ocean, over the world, and over the moon. A hawk shrieked in the darkness. There's the tree house, said Annie. She pointed to the grove of trees, which is a what?
group of trees.
A group of trees. Good. The knight guided the horse toward the trees. See? There it is, Annie said, pointing to the ladder. The knight brought his horse to a stop. He dismounted and helped Annie and Jack down. Thank you, sir, Annie said. She bowed. Thank you, Jack said. He bowed too. The knight got back on his horse, and he raised his gloved hand. Then he slapped the reins and rode off through the mist. Annie started up the tall ladder, and Jack followed. They climbed into the dark treehouse and looked out the window. The knight was riding toward the outer wall of the castle. They saw him go through the outer gate. Clouds started to cover the moon again. For a brief moment, Jack saw the knight's armor gleaming on the top of the hill beyond the castle. What does it mean to gleam?
Glowing.
Glowing. Why would the knight's armor be glowing?
Because it's all shining.
From what?
The night.
The water.
What's in the night? What's in the night sky?
Moon.
The moon. So what's it doing? It's making it
Nicole.
reflect and shine. Good. The clouds covered the moon completely, and a black mist swallowed the land. He's gone, whispered Annie. Jack shivered in his wet clothes as he kept staring at the blackness. I'm cold, said Annie. Where's the Pennsylvania book? Jack heard a fumbling in the darkness. He kept looking out the window. I think this is it, said Annie. I feel a silk bookmark. Jack was only half listening. He was hoping to see the knight's armor gleam again in the distance. Okay, I'm going to use this, said Annie. Because I think it's the right one, here goes. Okay, I'm pointing to make a wish. I wish we could go to Frog Creek. Where's Frog Creek?
In Pennsylvania.
Isn't that where they live? Yeah. Jack heard the wind begin to blow softly. I hope I pointed to the right picture in the right book, said Annie. What? Jack looked back at her. Right picture, right book. The treehouse began to rock. The wind got louder and louder. I hope it wasn't the dinosaur book, said Annie. Stop, Jack shouted at the treehouse. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything went still, absolutely still. So, what did the knight do for Jack and Annie?
Help them, then went back.
Yep, and then he went back. Alright, so everybody, I want you to take your papers that we passed out, turn it to the back, and I want you to draw a picture that illustrates the word gleaming
What's
from the
gleam?
story. What did we say it was? Who can help
Oh.
Jeffrey out?
Moon.
Yeah, whenever the knight's armor was gleaming off the moonlight. So let's
But I'm
What-
gonna need white. The
just
paper
get
is white.
creative.
Paper is white.
Yeah,
but
draw a picture of
I have to
what?
wait.
Illustrating the word gleaming. What do you think? It doesn't have to be necessarily from the story.
Gleaming.
Gleaming. If something's gleaming. You could think of it in other ways. Like maybe, you know how sometimes you go to the pool and the sun's reflecting off the pool water?
Can I
It's
just
gleaming.
do the night?
Yes, you could do the night, absolutely. Ooh. But draw what's making it shine. Well, you could draw, you could draw a shadow, but what's making the knight's armor gleam?
Oh, I did that
What's making it gleam?
at my grandma's house. I made a picture of a butterfly, and it was reflecting off the sun.
Why is it shining though? From the what?
Can I please have a black?
From the sun. You want the black?
I'm over.
Alright. So Adrian, what did you draw?
Just the night and the moon.
The night and the moon.
Mm.
Good. Carson, what are you drawing?
The night as the sun reflecting from the sun, and there's a shadow.
Good. Yep. So you see Carson drew the knight's armor reflecting off of the sun. But in the story, what's it reflecting off of?
The moon.
The moon.
Darn it, I messed
Oh,
up.
I can see the moon in Nicole's picture too.
I messed up.
That's okay. That looks good though, Jeffrey. That edge of him looks like it's gleaming because it's white. Is that what you intentionally did?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are doing a good job. I like this one too, Chris, because the knight looks like he's proud. Huh? He's proud to be gleaming in the sun, although he'd probably be hot. What did Jack say earlier in the story about a helmet and how much it weighed?
40 pounds.
50 pounds.
It was 40
40.
pounds. You're right,
And it
Jeffrey.
felt like a toddler. On
Yeah,
set.
it felt like a 5-year-old on his head. You're right. So, what do you think that helmet would make you feel like a 5-year-old was on your head?
No.
Probably.
Probably. Jeffrey's like, I'm wearing a 5-year-old on my head.
No. Mine will always.
How old's your little brother, Jeffrey?
1.
1. He's not quite 5, huh? Ooh, I like yours, Nicole. Your knight's definitely gleaming there. Ooh, Jeffrey. What are you drawing, Jeffrey?
Butterfly.
A butterfly.
A
The
butterfly?
butterfly's gleaming? Oh, Jeffrey thought outside the box for this one. What's making the butterfly gleam, Jeffrey?
Sun.
The sun.
I should put
Because
the sun over
sometimes
here.
Sometimes the butterfly's wings can look a little transparent, right? That would make it look gleam in the sun, huh?
In school, we have like this butterfly box, and we bring in like
Like the chrysalis? Oh, the
Caterpillars.
caterpillars? Yep.
that word. And we watched them make a cocoon and like blend.
Yep, they make the cocoon or a chrysalis. Yep. Very good. You guys are doing a great job. Okay. So while you guys are finishing up your gleaming drawings,
I'm done already.
yeah, you guys did a good job. Let's talk about the order of events that happened in this chapter. So, which happened first? I'll give you two options. Annie tells Jack the knight wants to help them, or Jack gets on the horse with Annie and the knight.
Jack
tells Jack that the knight wants to help.
Yep, good job. Alright, so which comes next? The knight takes Jack and Annie to the treehouse, or Jack gets on the horse with
Jack.
Annie and the knight?
Jack gets on the horse with him.
Yep, good job. Okay. How about Annie tried to find the Pennsylvania book in the darkness, or Annie makes a wish to return to Frog Creek?
Annie tries to find the Pennsylvania book.
Yep, she has to find the Pennsylvania book first. Why?
So they can know where.
Because they were in Pennsylvania.
Yep, to know where to go back to, huh? Very good. You guys are doing a good job with this. Alright. So now we're going to finish up by asking just a few comprehension questions.
I'm having questions.
Like when you comprehend what's gonna happen in the story, what's gonna happen
Yeah,
next.
if you understood what happened. So who got on the knight first? Who remembers?
Jack.
Did Jack get on the knight
The
first?
knight got on.
Or who got on the horse first?
The knight.
The knight, and then who got on the horse?
Annie.
Annie got on first, right? Jack was hesitant, but Annie had to do what?
Jack and the knight were friends.
Yeah, Annie had to tell Jack that the knight wanted to help them. He wasn't sure. Why do you think he wasn't sure? Because what did everyone else in the castle try to do to them?
They
that far?
tried to capture them and
Yeah.
put them in the
And
dungeon.
put them in the dungeon. And how long were they going to have to stay in the dungeon?
A really long time.
Until after the what?
The beast.
The feast. Yep.
That was not.
Good job. So how did Jack feel about being on the horse? Mad,
Brave.
brave and powerful, or sad?
Brave
Yes.
and powerful.
Good job, Jeffrey. He did feel brave. How did Jack and Annie get to the treehouse? Who took? Yep, the knight took them there.
Now I just need.
Why are Jack and Annie shivering and cold?
Because it's nighttime.
Mhm. And why else? So this is after they get out of the moat. Why would they be cold?
It's wet.
Because they're wet, right? From swimming in the moat. What is Jack doing while Annie is looking for the book? He's looking for who?
The night.
Yep, he was looking for the knight. But the knight did what? He went off into the
Mist.
The darkness and the black mist. Yep, good job. Why does Annie have a hard time finding the book?
Because
Because it's foggy.
Yep, it's too dark to see. Very good. Annie picks up a book and wishes. Where does she wish to return to, Jeffrey?
Foggy Bottom.
Frog Creek.
Frog Creek. Yep, that's where they live. And then Annie says she hopes she didn't accidentally pick up the what book?
Dinosaur book.
The dinosaur book. What would be bad about picking up the dinosaur book?
They would teleport to the.
Yeah, they would teleport back to the dinosaur world.
Where'd that go?
Yeah, that would be scary, huh? Alright. Here, Nicole. You guys did a really great job today. And tomorrow we are going to finish the story. Can you believe it?
Yes.
No.
I might have another prize for you guys tomorrow.
Candy.
Hey, I don't like
Yes, you do.